Where have we heard this specific arrangement of the Finish the Fight motif? Why does this French horn line sound so Halo? The feeling of music is nebulous, but music theory is definite. These answers and more in this deconstruction of the music of Halo Infinite. Welcome to the channel. We're all very eager to hear more about Halo Infinite, I'm sure. Absolutely every second of what we have seen so far has been scrubbed dry for hints as to what is coming. But today we're going to take a deep dive into the music of the 2019 trailer Discover Hope. And hopefully, I can point out some new things you hadn't thought of before unnoticed. There's a lot more going on here than you might think. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. The stranded pilot wipes off the frost of the window of his Pelican to reveal the Master Chief in free float, and we hear a familiar sound. The piano here is reminiscent of Halo 3's so-called Finish the Fight motif, albeit in a different key. That sound is built with C in octaves with an F between, which creates an interval of a perfect fourth with the lower C and a perfect fifth with the higher one. This is unlike a tritone, which feels as though it needs to resolve either inward or outward. Instead, fourths and fifths lack that feeling. It feels suspended, much like the Chief. So this initial piano sound unfolds into a progression. Specifically, an arrangement very similar to the seminal moment in Halo 3 when Master Chief finds and rescues Cortana in the ruins of High Cherry.
But so much of me is wrong, out of place.
Chief, in that scene, is her knight in shining armor, which makes this moment in Halo Infinite incredibly cool, and an important moment in the franchise, because the music recalls this feeling to suggest that the pilot is now Chief's knight in shining armor, something which I expect will be a heavy theme throughout the game's story. Then we transition inside of the Pelican, where the pilot has secured the Master Chief. As the camera pans up to reveal the Chief, a solo French horn delivers a motif that feels something between heroic and somber. And, in this way, seems to express musically what the pilot is thinking before we ever hear him speak or see a reaction from him. Very powerful stuff. So it's sort of like the pilot is both starstruck by being in the presence of a hero, and also concerned that he's too late, and that the Chief could either be dead in there, or as he expresses in a moment, that booting up his armor could very well kill him. It's heavy, and I hope we hear it again later in the game. So this short melody the horn plays is new to Halo. It's not referencing anything heard before, but it is evocative of something familiar. That is Chief's character theme by Kazuma Janucci from the Halo 4 track 117. But what is it that makes these two melodies sound so similar? I'll put them in the same key here for clarity. Here's the opening 4 bars of 117. And here's that horn melody from Discover Hope again. You might say it's because they're both written in the Dorian minor mode, or that both are performed on a conical brass instrument. Both guesses would be correct, but there's another important thing happening here. That is the intervallic qualities of both of these melodies. The heavy use of, again, fourths and fifths. To me, there's something resolute about the melodic use of these particular intervals. They are fundamental to that classic hero sound, such as John Williams' theme for the 1978 movie Superman, which itself opens with a set of fourths and fifths, performed by none other than French horns. In addition to the French horn solo, Discover Hope has another solo brass feature. This solo, which we hear when the BIOS of Chief's Gen 3 Mjolnir boots up, is performed by a trumpet and is also a new melody, not referencing previous Halo scores. It does, however, evoke all the same elements as the other one. It feels like it never quite resolves. For instance, like the French horn melody from before, The trumpet line maintains that feeling of suspension. During the trumpet solo, however, Curtis creates the feeling of suspension differently than with the French horn. So to avoid sounding like a resolution, the harmony underneath changes to recontextualize the melody note. At this point, the French horn is accompanying the trumpet with a C, which would represent the fifth of the tonic chord if played together with the trumpet's F. However, the horn moves to B flat on the same beat that the trumpet arrives on the F. This recontextualizes the F with a different harmony by creating a perfect fifth underneath, deceiving us by making it sound as though we've gone to a 4 chord, the F now serving as the fifth. Not quite home. Suspended. So what did we learn? We found a callback to a narrative moment from Halo 3 which may foreshadow aspects of the character dynamic between the pilot and chief. We broke apart the famous Halo piano sound, and we looked at some of the new themes that draw inspiration from the soundtracks of 343's Halo games. These are just a couple examples of the exciting original music by Halo Infinite's composer Curtis Schweitzer. For me and many others, it has captured that Halo mystique that many have been clamoring for. As we lie in suspense for Halo Infinite, so too we will have to lie in suspense for the next installment of my deconstruction of the music of Discover Hope. If you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel because there's a lot more to be told, and I hope you will join me. Until next time, I'm Noah, and this is Traveling Halo.